Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Krubali again. I just wanted to do another quick Facebook session to continue on the conversation that obviously we've started from the struggle to nation building. And today, this video is going to be one of those that I am really just calling it as it is, that we must support the coalition. I will talk about that in a little bit, and I know that this is a topic that many fear to do because of the accusations that might come with it that, hey, maybe you're positioning yourself for a position in the coalition, that's why you're supporting them. But I also wanted to talk about the social media aspect of things, some negative comments coming from social media, people thinking that there's too much noise on social media, and I wanted to address that. And also talk about the current Justice Minister, Pick, who I happened to cross paths with some 7 years ago. Short experience, not directly but indirectly. It shows that when citizens work together, when they do good in the past, you definitely need to mention it. On the first topic, that is to support the coalition, I am one that truly believe, and I do not make it any secret, that I am supporting this coalition as long as possible, and I'll make sure before I start criticizing them that I give them the opportunity to succeed. Why do I do that, and why do we need to do that? It's very simple, ladies and gentlemen. If we were to be given the option to either stay with Yaya or change, many of us would have changed, because we've shown that we fought for 22 years, one of the nastiest battles that we've ever gone through, and we all fought for a new regime to come in, and we all fought for change. Now we have the change, and the change it's not even 2 months ever since this government took over, and already we're seeing people criticizing. So in a sense, I think we need to really take a step back and really look at what are we doing here. Is this the change that we wanted? Yes. Are we going to give this change time to grow, time to build on, and time to bring about the changes and development necessary to move our nation forward? Is the huge questions. And I know there's a fine line between supporting a coalition and trying to defend them. I don't think any of us can defend any mistakes or any type of corruption or scandal that happens in this coalition. But right now, in these early stages, we do have it as a responsibility that members, especially of the diaspora, to make sure that we support this coalition as much as possible. Nobody's saying take money out of your pocket going over there, but staying on message and keeping it a positive message. Criticize when it happens, but to go about speculating and throwing accusations out there and already pointing out to some of the things that they're doing wrong, I think it's a little too early. We need to be in a supportive role right now. Yes, if they do wrong, we need to mention it, but we also need to be very careful of that this coalition that we helped put together, this coalition that we put so much energy in, this coalition that we all fought for, that we prayed for, and when it came, we were all happy. We knew it was not the perfect coalition. We knew some of the people that are in there were not our desired people to be, but that is the circumstances that was presented to us. That's what we had. And we supported it, knowing what we had there, knowing we had Barrow as the person who is going for the presidency, knowing that we have all these senior members there that were fighting, that were there, whilst many of us were in the diaspora. And we saw the picture, we saw what it was all about, and we fought with them, we encouraged them, and we chastised them. Now they're there. They're trying to do their best, and they're starting to pick members. What we understand is in most cabinets, changes do happen. Pretty much within the 4th year, you're going to see maybe a total overhaul of the cabinet, total overhaul of the system. But again, we must start somewhere. And this is where we Gambians need to be very careful of, and saying that I know we want to be transparent. I know we want to be that citizen that is very active in criticizing their government. But you have to give something an opportunity to grow. You have to give something an opportunity to build on. And you have to support what you help put together. So the diaspora, Gambian people need to understand, Barrow is probably not your desired pick, but unfortunately he's the one there. It's either him or the continuation of the dictator. And the dangerous thing about trying to destroy this coalition right now is that, yes, the APRC is gone, yes, Yaya is gone, but he is still alive and his supporters are still alive, and they're watching us very closely. We continue to fight. We fought them as a group, and now we've defeated them, and we're fighting within ourselves. We're not giving these people an opportunity to grow. We're not giving them an opportunity. We're destroying them. And like everything else, Olof Njai says it best, if we continue on attacking these people, if we continue on destroying them, if we continue on criticizing them, we're going to destroy them. We're not going to give them the opportunity to grow. And this is the fear that I have. I don't have a problem coming out expressing where I stand. I don't care about the accusations that people will say. And this is the reason why many in the diaspora that can speak and support this regime are very fearful. Everybody's kind of watching what you say for fear of being accused of positioning yourself for maybe some kind of post. You know what? We're all educated young men and women. We all had jobs before the coalition, before the change of government. We had a good life. That is going to continue. If anybody decides to change it, take a career change, you should be able to do it. But because we fought for this, doesn't mean that now that they're there, now that there's people watching trying to tell you that you're positioning for yourself, that you should run away or you should try to avoid them. No, these are people that we fought with. These are people that sacrificed their life. These are people that we trusted. And we went out there and put our reputations on the line, ignored our families and fought for them. Now they're there, ladies and gentlemen. It is our responsibility to fight for them. It is our responsibility to give them an opportunity to sorry, that was my storage days full. It is our responsibility to just give them an opportunity to do some work. And then from there on, we will find out, if they're really, cut for the job. If they're not, changes will come about. And trust me, this current cabinet that we're looking at there, 2 or 3 years down the road, they're not going to be there. Either they will be tired, they will retire, something is going to happen, this happens. But right now, we're at a starting point. We're doing something. Let's move forward as a nation. Let's also be positive citizens that will support a government. I am supporting this government 110%. I am going to set myself up in case I need to come back and criticize them, because I want them to say that I have given them an opportunity. I want to be that person who rooted for them, who fought with them, and who gave them the opportunity. And if they fail me, then I'll come out and speak out. And we all need to try and position ourselves with that. But just to say that because we want to be, transparent, because we want to challenge our government, all of a sudden they start, and then we start criticizing them and destroying them. It's like your own child. No matter how bad your child is, you want to give them an opportunity before you ignore them or abandon them to make sure that they succeed. This is our baby. We made it. We need to make sure that we support these people, and hopefully they will also understand that, you know what, I am doing my time right now. I need to develop the young. I need to give the young the opportunity so that they can also succeed. These people understand, and President Barrow himself said that they used to wake up and ask themselves, what is social media saying? What is the diaspora saying? We are a very important part of this government, whether we're down on the ground or not. They're watching us, they're listening to us, and we need to continue this communication, which brings me into the social media. A lot of people are saying Gambians are too much, Gambians are talking, that we're too petty, that what's going to happen if we this and that. What we need to understand is it is because of this talking, this fight, this social media that got us what we wanted. We cannot get here right now all of a sudden and abandon it and be that quiet bunch of people. That is not possible. And I'm encouraging everybody to continue on talking. Do your Facebook Lives. Talk to the people. The more we talk to each other, the more we get to understand. Yes, some of the pictures that came out of Banjul in those hospitals, some are claiming, yes, it's forced aid to put people's limbs in a carton just to get them to the hospital and get them help. Yes, it's good to expose these things. Hopefully the regime will see it. But we cannot just say that, you know what, we're too much Facebook Live. Facebook Live, unfortunately, is the new thing. It is here to stay. Utilize it to the best of your ability. Obviously, with a lot of sensitivity. And we need to make sure that we understand. Let the people just speak. If you do not want to listen to it, all you need to do is just click that X right next to on your screen, and you will never see them, and you can get them out. But to say that all of a sudden citizens should not be speaking or we talk too much, I think by saying that we're talking too much, in a sense, mean that obviously you want to censor us, and maybe you're also talking too much. So let the conversation continue. This is the medium that got us here. This is the way forward. Social media, people are going to come express themselves. However, let's do it productively. Let's do it positively. Let's make sure that when we come on and we have a platform that we can talk, that we do it with responsibility, understanding that the young are listening, people are listening that truly believe in what we're doing and what we're saying, that we're influencing people there, changing minds, and we need to make sure that we make it a positive effort. So I just wanted to talk about that in a sense. Please stop censoring people. I'll also say this in Mandinka too. And finally, the Justice Minister Tambedou. I don't know this guy I don't really know him. I don't know where he's from, but I know that some 7 years ago, when we were setting up Friends of Basse, we had one of our Basse citizens, Haruna Fraj, who's also a lawyer, a recent graduate at the University of the Gambia. we were putting together our constitution. And I remember back then, looking back, it's like a bunch of young people that didn't know what we were doing. We drafted a constitution, and we were trying to change it and make sure that it's perfect. And Haruna decided to take it, obviously. Then he was working at The Hague with Tambedou and his group. And I remember that name, Tambedou, keep coming up, that he was making a lot of suggestions, trying to make sure that the group is protected, trying to make sure that we are in line with the government, trying to make sure the language is changed. So when I heard his name as the Justice Minister, I hope it's the same Tambedou. I think it is. He's probably the only one that worked at The Hague and at the tribunal, also in Tanzania. That this is what it's about, ladies and gentlemen. When in time of need, when young Gambians trying to put together an association working on a constitution reach out to other Gambians that have the experience, he took it up on himself to really help us. And I remember at that time we were like, you know what, this is a young association, let's just leave it as is, and we can go about. And Haruna kept telling us, no, we need to listen to these people. These guys know what they're doing. And I remember him looking at that, document, and I want to thank him for that. I don't think, he's going to help me in any form or fashion. He's the Minister of Justice, but I respect him for that, given that back then when he was a nobody on an international appointment, so took that constitution, which is now helping the URR region by looking at it, making sure that we protect it. But what really helped me a lot over there was that back then, obviously, I was in the struggle and I was fighting a lot with the regime. It's his sensitivity to make sure that the constitution that we were putting together actually it's in compliance with the Gambian government. Although we all hated the Gambian government back then, we knew that it was a bad regime. So, to Tambedou, I congratulate you on your new position, and I hope you will continue to listen to the Gambian people, work for the Gambian people, and that you will understand that this is a post where you're supposed to be working for the people. And to all the ministers, including my own friend, my Fati, who I know is taking a lot of hits when it comes to my, obviously, he's a friend of mine that I know. Separate from anything else, I don't need anything from anybody. I am going to continue to speak. If I get anything in this life, I believe that it will be something that I work for, and I will only take anything that I know I can make a positive impact. So to all of you guys out there, don't be scared of coming out to show support for this government. You fought for this government. You put in your time. Gambians raised thousands and thousands of dollars, which equivalent to millions of dollars, to fight this regime. Ordinary Gambians, $5, $10, $20. We did it. We cannot come all the way to this point, and then all of a sudden we want to destroy this coalition. Because believe me, if we destroy this coalition, the only other option over there is APRC. There is no other option. And that's why we need to be very, very, very careful of how we're attacking them, how we, obviously coming up with opinions. And when we make opinions, we need to make it very clear that what we're doing is making an opinion, or we're just speculating. We cannot come and make our opinions sound like a fact, or sound like it's the truth, sound like we have information. It is very important when we do that, we continue to mention that it's an opinion. This is clearly, and that needs to be repeated when we do these radio shows. That's very important. So in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen, especially to the diaspora, many of you want to say something. Many of you want your contributions heard, but you're scared of that person that's going to come out and say, oh, you're positioning yourself for a job. No. Before the coalition, you had a job. When you were fighting for the coalition, when Yah was there, nobody looked at you and said you're positioning yourself for a job. Now that they are there, continue on speaking, continue on supporting them, and continue on getting your voices heard. If anybody who is listening to this video feels like this is a waste of time, or maybe we talk too much, just click it close. But let the Gambian people speak. We have not had the opportunity to speak for 22 years in our own nation. A lot of things are happening there. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. And the only way we can do this work and understand what needs to be done is when we all come together and we continue to speak. By staying quiet, a lot of people that did it during the struggle wish they had spoken, and they came back out when victory came about, when freedom came about. Some of those people were the most vocal. And this is the importance. Now that we have freedom, now that we can all speak, the media now has a responsibility, cannot speculate anymore, because you have a regime there that you can reach out to, and then they will answer your question. If they finish setting up those the cabinet, and you reach out to a ministry, or they don't have an email address, or we cannot reach them, or they refuse to speak to you, then you can come and say, this is a fact. I have an email address here. I've been trying to reach the Minister of Health for 1 month. I cannot get hold of them. What is going on? They should have email addresses. They should have Twitter handles. They should have even Facebook pages, if you ask me, even if they're not managing it. They should have people that are managing these things for them, because it's very important that they have these things, because they can go through it, understand this is the quickest and easiest and cheapest way to get in touch with your citizens. You can be there hearing just a simple idea, maybe can help. And these radio talk shows that are happening needs to go away from criticizing and looking at what the government is doing, to the point of having people come in and having the media come in and talk about the media laws, talk about what they want in place, talk about what they went through, and what the future looks like. It's very important. Ordinary citizens also come in and talk about, just what they want to see, what are they doing in their communities, what their communities need. Like I said it, there is a group in Phoenix Football Club, which is in Basse right now. Even today they had a radio show, and they're trying to put together a concert, a fundraising event. These young men and women are out sensitizing all the villages, the satellite villages in the Basse area. And yes, they're trying to sensitize them and do a fundraiser, so that this is youths taking control of their own destiny. And this is what we're trying to do. And right now they're making an effort to get a hold of either the Minister of Interior or the Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture to either go and support them or send a representative there. And that is something that we're doing. Now, if we try to do that and they didn't come, we understand right now they're very busy. They're setting up a new government. Maybe they can't go. Hopefully they can send a representative there. But if they cannot too, maybe this is the first time. We'll give them an opportunity. But if we continue to put in the request and we're not hearing from them, then we will start saying, you know what, we have evidence, and I have track records and evidence that I've been reaching out to them. If they don't come this time, and if they continue not coming, Basse is a very important area. We're far away from the capital, and I think it's very important for these ministers, especially the Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, to really look at Basse and make sure that they include us. We're the capital over there in that region. URR is the base. We're one of the biggest, but the furthest away from the capital. So it's very important that they also focus down there and understand that everything is concentrated in the capital. They need to start looking at how to really touch the entire nation. So in a nutshell, this is my video. Please do not stop talking. Please stop telling people to keep quiet. However, you can tell people to be productive. You can tell people not to speculate. You can tell people to be careful of the opinions they're coming with, especially when it involves accusing decent citizens or accusing a government or some foolish talk like tribal issues and stuff like that. Yes, we're all from different tribes. Yes, we all have our tribes that we like. But it is not important right now. What is important right now is how can we create jobs in that country? How can we make sure that the healthcare is developed? How can we make sure that there's 24-hour electricity? How can we make sure that there's good hospitals so that when people go on vacations? Today I heard, Mr. Njai, Demba Njai talking that we are all at risk. You go to Gambia right now, yes, it's free, but if you're driving, you get into an accident like Pa Suso, you're definitely going to end up outside having to leave the country to get medical help. These are things that we should be talking about. There's more important things that we can talk about and we should talk about than talking about really foolish things, because it is very unproductive and unwise for a young man or woman or for a youth to sit and start speculation on tribal lines or things that you don't know. It's a waste of time to me. We shouldn't even talk about it. We should talk about how do we develop our country? How do we make sure that the justice system understands what needs to be done? The local government and lands, there's a lot of land issues in that country. How do we make sure that the Minister of Health is in contact with the diaspora, where we know that healthcare is much better here? How do we bridge that gap? How do we make sure that when citizens go home, they can volunteer? There's Gambians here right now that I'm talking with that are willing to go to Gambia for a whole year for free just to work. How do we connect these two groups? This is the most important thing that we should do. How do we find schools that, like back in the day, we used to have pen pals where we communicated. That helped some of us, our writing skills, where we were writing to our pen pals. These are all things that we can look at. There's teachers, there's doctors, there's scientists outside, there's technocrats. You do not have to be in the Gambia to be able to make a productive contribution to this regime. But the easiest way you can do is stay positive, support them. Do not, whatever you do not destroy what you make. You must support what you make. It is only logical and sensible to do that. So thank you all very much, and let the conversation continue. You all have a wonderful day. It is Grammy weekends over here, so I'm sure a lot of you will be watching the Grammy. So hopefully someday we're going to have the West African Music Awards in the Gambia and bring in those tourists over there and bring in a lot of money. Great ideas on the table, ladies and gentlemen. That nation is very young. The future is bright for us, but we cannot do it by staying quiet. Speak up. Throw your ideas out there. If anybody accuses you, just look the other way. Thank you. Have a blessed day.